for another Idiot's Guide to Saving Money. And one of the things I want to talk about today is like your cable bill and that. I don't know how many of you out there actually still have cable, and it's one of the things that some people still have. Think, well, it's not that high, it's not that expensive, yada yada. But then you start adding on channels like HBO and Cinemax and Showtime, and it starts adding up really fast. The basic package isn't too bad. Then you get all your on-demand channel stuff. So it's not horrible, but depending on how much you watch it, it's not that useful. I was just talking to somebody yesterday, and they were talking about how they have Netflix, and one of the things they don't like about Netflix is like they're trying to watch, I think it's like Vampire Diaries or something like that. I'm not sure what show exactly it was, but it doesn't come out until the DVDs come out. So they're end up being like an entire season behind virtually every time, and they're kind of getting a little bit upset with that because they really want to watch it, but unfortunately they're never home when it's on TV, so they're paying for cable to watch the show, which they never get to see anyway. And they haven't broke down and bought a DVR or whatever, which would be another expense to have, and yada yada. But they found out on Hulu, which is another service similar to Netflix but not quite, Hulu has the Vampire Diaries the next day. So if it airs on, say the 12th, the 13th is on Hulu. So you're only one day behind, not a big deal. You can watch it at your leisure. Here's the problem with Hulu, though, a lot of people forget about. It's also only $8 a month, same as Netflix. But because it's out the next day, they got to make money. They got to figure out a way of, profiting off this, where $8 a month doesn't cut it. So with Hulu, what it does, actually, they have to let you watch commercials. If you're watching your computer, on your, smart TV, whatever the heck you have, there's no way of avoiding commercials. A lot of times you can have commercial blockers, like on your web browser, on your computer. From everything we've researched, the Hulu will not allow it to work. Like, it literally will make you shut off the anti-commercial app on your computer in order to watch Hulu. So that's how Hulu's able to sell you next day run shows for $8 a month. And you figure most people are paying $100 to $200 a month for their cable. I mean, it's ridiculous. And like the one I was talking to, their cable bill right now I think is $60-some they're paying for their basic cable. But when they get rid of their basic cable, their internet's going to go up like $20. So it's only costing like $40-45 for cable. But like I said, when's the last time you actually watched your cable? Because they're watching Netflix all the time, watching some stuff on YouTube, but mostly it's Netflix that they watch. And I said, when's the last time you turned it on? And they stopped and they thought about it for a little bit, and they go, well, it's Saturday, I guess I'm talking to them, and they don't remember turning it on all week. Like, they don't remember having the actual cable on for an entire week. I said, okay, do you remember what it was? They go, no, I would say a week and a half, 2 weeks I had it on. I said, what'd you watch? And they said they watched a couple little shows here and there, whatever. And they're like, okay, now that makes sense. I'm like, okay, you went, let's say half a month, you've watched one show which you could pick up on Netflix, it just wasn't the same order what you're watching. They're like, yeah. So they're actually talking about, they think they're going to cancel their cable possibly tomorrow. I told them to look into it. I said, give it another thought if you want to wait. Just take a little cheat sheet, lay it next to your TV, next to your couch, where you have your remote, whatever, and just mark down what you watch on the actual cable as opposed to the Netflix. And then, you're going to realize you're way better off spending $8 a month on Netflix streaming. And then if you have it Netflix through the mail because you want the extra movies, that's up to you. But I don't bother with the Netflix through the mail because I got plenty of stuff. If I run out of things on the streaming Netflix to watch, then maybe I'll pay the extra $8 for a month or two. But there's so much stuff on Netflix streaming that I don't need to pay the extra $8 to get the DVDs mailed to me. Plus, it's a waste of resources, it's a waste of fuel. It's not as good on our environment, it's not as good for the world, all that good stuff. So, plus you have the paper envelopes you're throwing away. There's just a lot of things involved that's very wasteful for the Netflix by mail, but hey, that's up to you. Just money saving world. I can't imagine there's not something on Netflix streaming you don't want to watch. So you figure, let's go with Netflix at $8 a month. And then say you go ahead and add Hulu to get things like Vampire Diaries. There's a couple other shows that only Hulu has. They're Hulu exclusive, same as Netflix has a couple of those also. But that's $16 a month. Let's say you bought both of them. At that $16 a month, you're paying $65 a month minimum for your cable, or even like she's only paying $45 for hers because her internet will go up because she doesn't have the package deal anymore. You figure she's still spending less than half the money. She's spending like a third the money on Hulu and Netflix than she does on cable. And in the last 10 days, she watched one show on cable. Not worth it. Go ahead, you figure you set the money back. Some shows will never be on Netflix. Some shows will never be on Hulu. You figure out Californication, some of those things on Showtime and that are never going to show up. You're spending, let's say you're spending the average $100 a month. One of those DVDs come out in the season, $40 worst case scenario. You figure every month you can buy 2 or 3 of those. They're $50 a piece. You can still buy 2 of them every month. So go back and buy the ones you haven't seen, own them on DVD, watch them when you want to, loan them to your friends, loan them to your neighbors, that kind of thing. And once you're done watching them, if you don't think you'll rewatch them again, sell them in your yard sale for $20, $10, whatever. So let's say you bought it for $40, you sold it at the yard sale for $20. You only cost you $20 to watch the entire season, and that's 1/5 of 1 month's bill. So it's ridiculous stuff. You know how much money people are wasting because you want to go to the office tomorrow and talk about today's episode. It's not that big a deal. Just realize the fact that you're going to spend time, talking about last season's episode. Whoopee, no big deal. But for $100 a month or $150 a month, you figure I know a person in my close knit of friends is paying $200 a month for cable. They got every premium channel, they got the baseball games, they got the football package, got crap, and they're never home because they're busy working 80 hours a week to pay the damn things like the $200 a month cable bill. That $200 a month, he would drop that, he could get Netflix or he could download it on the internet, watch it on ESPN.com or whatever, and go out and break his yard or go have fun, go for a run, go for a kayak ride, something like that. But $200 a month is $2,400 a year. You can buy yourself a new Dodge Dart for $150 a month. Put that money away. You figure $2,400 a year, 5 years, guess what? That's $12,000 cash you got in your hand. That's a year-long cruise. That's amazing things you can do with that kind of stuff. So put away, imagine what your retirement plan looked like. Let's say you're 30 years old. You put away $200 a month, by the time you retire, you're retiring a millionaire. Why are people still wanting to throw away $200 a month on cable? It just makes no sense. Same thing with your home phone. If you have a home phone and you don't need it, you have cell phones, everybody has a cell phone, looking at dropping your home phone. It's not that big a deal. Buy Magic Jack for your computer if you feel you really need a home phone. Perfectly simple way of doing it. If you have a smartphone and you're paying for extra data, go in and talk to them. Make sure what you're actually paying for. Look at an itemized bill. It's going to make a difference. But right now, we're mostly talking about the cable thing. So give it a month. Write down, just take a little notepad, nothing detailed. Write down how many minutes a day you watch cable, and then see if it was on Netflix. See if it's worth it. If you're paying $100 a month, and let's say you're watching 2 hours a month of actual cable that you couldn't get on the internet, or you couldn't get on Hulu, or you couldn't get on Netflix, is it worth $50 an hour to watch cable? Maybe you're a huge fan of local news, and you've got to have local news, and that's worth $200 a month or $100 a month to you. That's up to you. That's truly the choice you make. But write down and make sure that's actually worth it to you. Spend the time, spend the effort to see where you can cut back. Maybe you can get rid of the premium channel. Maybe you realize you're only watching HBO for one show, and it's not worth $40 a month for that one show. Drop the HBO. Stick with the basic cable. Go from there. See if you can't find your local newspaper's website. Read about the local news. You don't have to watch it on TV. Tune into the local radio station if they have a 5 o'clock news on the radio. It's free, and you might get as much or more information off the radio station. And guess what? You save yourself $100 a month on cable. So look into Hulu. Look into Netflix. Most smart TVs nowadays are Wi-Fi, or you can Cat 5 cable them into them. High-speed stream the stuff right to your TV. If it doesn't, $100 or less, you can buy a really nice Blu-ray DVD player that has all that stuff capable. Your Wii will do it. Your PS3 will do it. Most people are going to have something in their house already that'll allow you to stream the stuff over. And if you have none of those, you can stream it from your computer. Just run a cable from your computer right over to your TV. You can go that route also. So definitely look into doing that. Like I said, it's a great way of saving some money. $8 a month for Hulu, $8 a month for Netflix. It's the best money you'll ever spend when you look at how much money you're saving compared to cable. So definitely think about doing it. Also, it saves the money if you're going to like Redbox. If you go to Redbox twice a week, then you could have got Netflix for the same money. $8, if you're going there twice a week, 4 weeks a month, $8, actually it's more than that. It's like $1.25 or $1.29 for a Redbox rental now. So it's cheaper to have Netflix. You don't have to go out in the cold. You don't have to worry about forgetting to take it back. You don't have to worry about, running up a double charge on it because you left it at home or that kind of junk. Definitely looking at Netflix and Hulu. Best $16 a month you'll ever spend. I'd say if you're going to choose one, start off with Netflix. watch Netflix for a while if you get bored with it. There's a few things like Vampire Diaries on Hulu that if you want something this month, you want to be able to watch it next day, go ahead and spend the extra $8 a month. And maybe that's what you were after mostly is like Vampire Diaries. Skip the Netflix and go straight to Hulu, whatever. But my fan is, I'm a huge fan of Netflix. There's tons of documentaries, tons of comedy shows. I've been watching the old TV show Wings. I don't know if you guys seen it back in the 80s and stuff. Just a funny little show, quirky little comedy. Love the little show. So a little 23 minutes at a time, you can't beat it. So anyway, look at saving yourself some money, cut out your cable, and throw that money in savings. Let's say your cable bill is $100 a month. Drop it down, you're saving $92 by having Netflix. Take that $92 you used to spend it anyway. Go ahead and write it out in your checkbook as if it was a cable bill. Write the check to yourself, whatever. Deposit that check. I don't care if you want to go cash it for $92, hide it in a box from your house, or go start up a savings account. Start up a vacation fund. Imagine taking a $1,200 vacation every year. You can make a hell of a trip for $1,200. Go on a vacation once a year and realize that those memories, every time you look back at that trip to Florida or that trip wherever you went, that's not having cable. Ask yourself, is it better to have a family vacation or is it better to have cable every month, sitting around watching TVs in different rooms and never talking to each other? So anyway, have yourself a safe and wonderful day and happy spending.